Well, within Accenture, we've created a higher level IT apprenticeship scheme. We took 20 apprentices on in February last year, 20 in July last year, and we plan to take on a further 20 in August this year. One of the best things we've done. We've got some fantastic young people who are just taking their first steps in IT. It's been a brilliant scheme. However, it took us 8 months to set it up, and it was really hard work setting it up. It's difficult to understand apprenticeships. The reason it took us 8 months is there are different levels of apprenticeships. There are different frameworks associated with apprenticeships. There's different funding arrangements depending on the size of the firm you are, the age of the apprenticeship, the age of the apprentice, the type of apprenticeship they're doing. You then have to select a training provider. There's no guidance on training providers. It's all hard work. It took us 8 months to set it up, and quite often during those 8 months, I said, if I was in charge of a small software house, I would pack it in. It was just too much like hard work. Only because we're a big international corporate did we have the bandwidth to deal with. So for me, we've got to make apprenticeships easier. We've got to make them easier to understand, easier to implement. We've got to make them easier from a business point of view, and we've got to make them easier for young people to understand. The biggest disappointment we had in our apprenticeship scheme was we set ourselves a gender diversity target at the start. We aimed for 50% male and 50% female. In the first tranche of 20, we failed miserably at that. We got one female who joined us. That caused us an awful lot of angst and concern. So we looked at how we were approaching it, how we were advertising, how we were interviewing people. And we made a real big effort for the second tranche to increase the number of females we got. We made a big effort, and we had a big percentage increase in the return of females. We had a 100% increase in the number of females. We went from 1 to 2. That caused us a real problem. As a company, you can decide what you're going to do about that. We decided to investigate it a bit further and see if there was something we could do to address it. What we looked at ICT A-level statistics, and we looked at 2012, and we saw that a gender split for ICT A-levels was 92% male, 8% female. So there's a big problem there, and we decided as a company to try and address that. And the way we're trying to address that was you get more females doing A-level ICT if you get more females doing GCSE ICT. You get more females doing GCSE IT if they pick them up as an option. And the way we went about that was we worked with eSkills, who are a sector skills council, and their advice to us was to introduce Computer Close for Girls. So we're actively promoting Computer Close for Girls at local schools. Computer Close for Girls is a great product, and there's other good products out there as well in terms of Code Club, Apps for Good, and as an industry, we need to promote the use of code clubs in schools. I would have a code club at every single school in the country. I would make apprenticeships easier to understand. And the third thing, and it's difficult to quantify, but the third thing is we've got to make business more visible in education. We need to get business and education more closely coupled through things like code clubs. And so to me, the three things are more code clubs in schools. We want a code club in every school. We want apprenticeships easier to understand, and businesses need to be more connected to education. Businesses need to play their part. What we set in our apprenticeship scheme, we set no minimum education qualification. What we did was we said we only wanted two things: an interest in technology and the right attitude. And with those two things, you can make a career for yourself in the technology industry. I quite often meet with business leaders, and sometimes business leaders tell me they can't get the people with the right skills. My response to that is, so what are you doing about it? Businesses have got a responsibility to work with education to develop the skills that industry needs. From my industry sector point of view, technology, we know what skills we want. We should tell education, but we need to do more than that. We need to help education develop those skills. The best way to do that from a technology point of view is for every business to support a code club in a school. It's a responsibility they should have, and it's a responsibility they should grab a hold of. Government can help a lot in the apprenticeship area. They are just far too complicated. They need to make it simpler. They make it easier for businesses to understand apprenticeships, but they need to make it easier for young people. For code clubs, businesses have got a responsibility, and they should grab a hold of that responsibility, and they should be creating code clubs themselves, regardless of any government help, assistance or interference. Businesses have got a responsibility. They should grab a hold of that.